Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Kevin Roberts Show. Last time, we talked about something pretty close to my heart: why hockey, with its lightning speed, constant flow, and hyper-aware environment, can be an absolute haven for minds that are wired with ADHD. The feedback and comments were incredible. So many of you resonated with how the chaos of the rink somehow clicked. Today, we're taking that core idea, finding environments where ADHD traits are not hurdles, but rocket fuel, and applying it to something even bigger: careers. Forget the outdated narrative of struggle and underachievement. We're talking about identifying professions where the very things often labeled as symptoms become your greatest professional assets. Get ready for a deep dive into ADHD-friendly careers and why they fit so well. Stick around. But before we get into it, please take a moment to like and subscribe so I can get this positive message out to more people. Now, let's get real. The traditional 9-to-5 desk job, buried in endless emails, repetitive tasks, focusing on one thing for hours. For many people with ADHD, that can feel like trying to run a marathon in quicksand, or wearing noise-canceling headphones that don't quite cancel the noise. It's draining, demoralizing, and frankly, a massive waste of potential. I maintain that ADHD brains are not broken. They're different. We often bring a unique cocktail of traits to the table. First one that comes to mind is hyperfocus. That intense, almost superhuman concentration. It's on things that we find deeply engaging or urgent. Creativity and divergent thinking, another one. Making unexpected connections with thinking outside of the box, generating novel solutions. High energy and drive. When motivated, people with ADHD can be unstoppable forces of nature. Rapid cognition, quickly processing information and shifting gears. Tom Hartman has called this the hunter archetype. I love his books, by the way. Resilience and problem solving under pressure. Years of navigating a world not built for us builds serious grit and on-the-fly problem solving skills. Finally, many people with ADHD have empathy and intuition, attuned to the emotions of other people, as well as environmental cues. That's what makes them good hunters. So the key to career happiness and success with ADHD isn't really about fixing ourselves to fit into square holes, but it's about finding the round holes that we naturally fit into. It's about seeking careers that leverage these inherent strengths and provide the right kind of structure or lack thereof. Because ADHD, there's many different ways that it shows up in different people. So let's explore some career categories where ADHD brains frequently not only survive but thrive. Remember, this isn't an exhaustive list, and individual passions matter hugely. I've had several people I've worked with who are first responders and what I call high-stakes problem solvers. So what are those occupations? Emergency room doctors and nurses, paramedics and EMTs, firefighters, crisis counselors, 911 dispatchers, trauma surgeons, disaster relief coordinators, and nowadays, cybersecurity responders. Now, why do these fit? Well, think of hockey's intensity, but amplified. These fields are about novelty, immediate action, high stakes, and rapid decision-making. There's no time for boredom. The environment is inherently structured by the crisis itself. Protocols kick in, providing external scaffolding. ADHD traits often shine here. Hyperfocus locks in during life or death moments. Rapid cognition. That allows for quick assessment and reaction. Thriving under pressure becomes a daily superpower. Seeing patterns amidst chaos helps diagnose problems quicker than they otherwise would be. And finally, physical activity for roles like firefighting and EMTs and even emergency room doctors. Those channel restless energy, just like hockey. So, what's the flip side of that? Well, shift work can be tough on sleep schedules. The emotional toll is real and requires healthy coping mechanisms and self care. But the constant engagement is often a perfect antidote to ADHD restlessness. I should say that for these folks, achieving balance can be difficult. Be careful and take self care seriously. I also have some of my clients working in the film industry. As internet influencers and in the world of design, these are the creators and innovators. Some examples would be entrepreneurs, startup founders, artists, which can include musicians, painters, sculptors, digital artists, writers, especially journalists and copywriters, comedians. Yes, I have worked with several of those, as well as with chefs, inventors, game designers, advertising creative directors, and I have worked with 2 landscape architects. Incidentally, if you want to develop your inner comedian, check out comedyschools.com, founded and run by my very dear friend Tony Visick. He is a great coach for anyone wanting to develop comedic talent, and he helped me enormously in my early years of being a public speaker. Comedyschools.com, folks. So, why are these jobs a fit? This realm, these jobs, tap directly into the ADHD superpowers of creativity, divergent thinking, and passion-driven hyperfocus. When an idea captures us, we can dive deeply for hours, producing incredible work. The freedom to explore, experiment, and build something new can be exhilarating. So, entrepreneurship, by the way, is a classic ADHD path. Studies actually suggest that ADHDers are 300% more likely to start businesses. It offers autonomy, variety, constant new challenges, and the ability to pivot quickly, turning impulsivity into agility. By the way, let's be honest, a lot of businesses fail. So if you have ADHD, try partnering in your business with a highly organized, detail-oriented person. Knowing your weaknesses and partnering with people strong in the things you struggle with can make all the difference. Self-awareness is an incredible superpower. Now, like entrepreneurship, creative arts also provide an outlet for intense emotions and hyperfocus. Deadlines, even if they're only self-imposed, create urgency, a powerful motivator. Culinary arts combine intense physicality, rapid pace, creativity, along with immediate feedback, and that's a sensory-rich environment that's perfect for many ADHD brains. But there is a flip side to all of these. Self-discipline and project management are critical challenges. Turning passion into consistent income requires strategy. Rejection is common and can be tough. Finding structure within the freedom is essential. Now, many of the people I have worked with can also be called hands-on builders and fixers, and I've worked with tons of them. Examples are electricians, plumbers, carpenters, mechanics, whether it's auto, aviation, industrial, welders, landscapers, surgical technicians, film and TV grips and gaffers, robotics techs, and emergency veterinary technicians. I have a couple friends who do that. So why are these a fit? They all offer tangible results, immediate problem solving, physical engagement, and varied tasks. You see the outcome of your work, whether it's a fixed engine, a built wall, a functioning circuit, right away. And this gives dopamine hits and a sense of satisfaction. So hyperfocus kicks in when you're diagnosing a complex problem or mastering a precise skill. Troubleshooting skills are constantly engaged. Every job can feel like a puzzle. These are kinesthetic jobs, and a lot of ADHD people have brains that like to be in motion, physically active. And the work is often project-based, providing natural start and end points. And there's also variety. So no 2 jobs or repairs are exactly the same. But there is a flip side to these. attention to detail and safety protocols is paramount and requires conscious effort. Physical demands of these jobs can be high, and some roles can involve working in uncomfortable environments. Now, I'm going to tell you about one of these fixers, builders, and his name is Mitch Shota, a long-term client of mine. He turned a high school lawn mowing and mulching operation into a $1 million a year business. So check out M&S Landscape Group. They're located in Waterford, Michigan. One of Mitch's very wise decisions is that he partners with people who are strong in areas he struggles in. So he's a guy who combines a lot of the above strengths. He's also an example of what I call a dynamic connector and persuader, and that's our next category. These are people like Mitch who excel in sales, especially if it's complex or requires high energy, public relations specialists, event planners, talent agents, trial lawyers, teachers, especially hands-on subjects like science, art, physical education, tour guides, recruiters, and mediators, which is a job a very good friend of mine does, and he has ADHD. So why are these a fit? Well, these roles thrive on interaction, energy, novelty, quick thinking, and persuasion, and they leverage the ADHD strengths in social intuition, as well as enthusiasm and the need to think on your feet. They're high energy and enthusiastic. Those skills are really great here. Empathy can help read clients, juries, students, audiences, whatever. And the rapid cognition that can often be strong with ADHDers allows for quick responses in negotiations, question and answer sessions, or dynamic hands-on classrooms and learning environments. So handling multiple inputs, people, details, logistics, feels natural to many ADHDers, though not everyone. So there's also a sense of urgency with these, closing a sale, hitting an event deadline. These are powerful motivators. So the flip side of that, which I've seen in many of my clients, is that these jobs can be overstimulating. They require strong active listening skills, which can tire people out, and rejection, especially in sales and law. It's a part of the job. Organization and follow-up on administrative tasks are crucial in these areas and often challenging, so you may need to partner with somebody who's good in those. So finally, we come to the last category, the knowledge hunters and pattern finders. A lot of ADHD people are like this. Examples would be research scientists, especially field research, investigative journalists, data scientists, those that focus on novel pattern discovery, intelligence analysts, archaeologists, and certain types of engineering, like especially those that involve troubleshooting or research and development. Even detectives have this quality, and I know a few ADHD detectives. So these tap into the ADHD drive for deep dives into fascinating subjects, connecting disparate dots, solving complex puzzles. When curiosity is ignited, hyperfocus can take over. So intense curiosity, that fuels the drive to uncover new information. Divergent thinking, that helps see patterns and connections that many other people miss. Persistence in the face of a challenging problem aligns very nicely with ADHD tenacity, which many ADHDers have. Variety exists in these jobs within the deep dive, field work, lab work, analysis, writing. But the flip side is that these jobs can involve long periods of solitary work, detailed writing, detailed reporting. They require developing systems to manage large amounts of information. Grant writing or academic bureaucracy can be kryptonite for people with ADHD. So there are some things to be mindful of when trying to figure out a career path. Finding the right fit isn't just about the job title. It's also about the environment and the structure within that role. Ask yourself, variety versus routine. Do I need constant novelty, or does some predictability help? Urgency and deadlines. Do external pressures motivate me, or do they cause paralyzing anxiety? Autonomy versus supervision. How much freedom do I need? Do I work better with clear direction or setting my own path? Physical activity. How much movement is essential for me to function well? Sensory environment. Do I thrive in bustling environments or do I need quiet focus and solitary spaces? And then there's the passion factor. Does the work genuinely interest and excite me? This is huge for triggering hyperfocus. We need that intense interest in order to activate hyperfocus. So here are some practical steps to find your fit. I use these with all my clients and students, whether or not they have ADHD. One of the things I have found is that what works in helping people with ADHD usually works well with everybody. Crazy thing. I'll talk about that another time. Number one, know thyself. Honestly assess your strengths and challenges. What energizes you? What drains you? Number two, follow your curiosity and hyperfocus. What subjects or activities make you lose track of time? That's a major clue. Number three, talk to people. Conduct informational interviews with people in fields that interest you. Ask about their daily tasks and the pace of the environment. Seek hands-on experience. Volunteer. Shadow. Take a short course. Get a real feel for the work. Hands-on. Number five, reframe your weaknesses and know your strengths. Stop seeing only deficits. Actively identify and lean into your strengths. Could be creativity, resilience, quick thinking, passion. Number six, embrace accommodations, even if they're like unofficial. So negotiate flexible hours. Use noise canceling headphones that work. Break large projects into micro tasks. Leverage project management apps. Find what helps you work effectively. Number seven, consider coaching or therapy. A coach or therapist can be invaluable for identifying strengths, developing strategies, and navigating career choices. And number eight, finally, please like and subscribe to this channel so that I can get this positive message out to the world. Just like finding the right sport, hockey for instance, finding the right career with ADHD is about discovering your natural energy, your unique way of thinking, and seeing your intensity as assets, not liabilities. It's about moving from feeling like a square peg in a round hole to realizing you were a hex bolt all along, perfectly designed for a specific vital function. I got that term from my friend Mitch Shota, by the way. Don't settle for a career that crushes your spirit because it doesn't fit your brain. Explore, experiment, leverage your incredible ADHD superpowers. The world needs your creativity, your energy, your problem solving, and your unique perspective. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of ADHD and career. If this resonated, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Share it in a Facebook group. And feel free to comment, what careers have you found that fit your ADHD brain? Send me an email if I can help, cyberjunkie512@gmail.com. Put it on the screen. And remember, I help people with school, I help people with career, and I also help a lot of ADHD entrepreneurs in their business. So until next time, remember, your ADHD brain isn't wrong. It's different, and different can be powerful. Go find your passion.